Grant Fuhr had an awful lot of success against the New York Islanders, and obviously we are thrilled to have him join us here on the show tonight. Grant, of course, a five-time Cup winner with the Oilers and a Hall of Fame career from 1981 to the year 2000. And Grant, because the Sabres are at the Coliseum for the next 3 games, which is unprecedented in regular season play for Buffalo, I have to ask about your recollection of the Coliseum and the success that you had there.
You know what? Regular season success, not so much. Playoffs, a little bit better. But no, it's a great old building. I mean, it was a fun building to play in. It was a great atmosphere to play in. So a little bit tougher with no fans, but at the same time, still a good building to play in.
1-0 victory in Game 1 of the 1984 final. I can't even imagine. The shots were 38-34. You stop all 34. Billy Smith lets in 1 on the 38 shots, and everybody that believed the Oilers dynasty was what it was believed that that night was the one that proved to you guys that you could beat the Islanders after having fallen the year before. Do you still feel that way?
I do, actually. I mean, it gave us confidence that we could actually beat them. And the year before, 83, they kind of ran over us. So the fact that we could go in there, win a game, I mean, not the prettiest game in the world, but for a goalie, a good night. But no, it gave us a lot of confidence we could beat them. I think they blew us out the next night, 6 or 7-1. But we still thought we could beat them. And I think that was the big turning point for us.
Even if they beat you the next night, you look good in net because when it was a time when goalies all wore brown equipment, you had the DNR white and blue and orange, and it was really standing out. What made you decide to go in that route with the equipment?
You know what? It was something you could be an individual. So we added a little color to things, and you try to match it up to the uniform so at least you look good, even if you don't play good.
You never had a problem with that, with the flair for the dramatic and the awesome glove saves that were a part of the Hall of Fame career. When you think back to that time, could you have ever imagined then becoming an inspiration for so many? And Grant, we just ran the NHL-produced feature in Black History Month last week about your place in the game. Could you have ever imagined then the impact you would have on that generation that followed?
At that time, no. I'm just trying to survive and play. I mean, I think that was the one thing about the Oilers is we always brought goalies into camp every year. So you'd have 7 or 8 guys that would have NHL experience, and it was just trying to survive and stay. More than anything, you didn't worry about where you fit in history or anything else. You just tried to be good every day.
As you went along your career, obviously you moved from Edmonton and you came here to Buffalo, Toronto, St. Louis, other destination. Was there one that stood out to you as some of the obstacles maybe you had to go through in that color barrier that many people like yourself have dealt with?
I think the first place I saw it was Buffalo. I mean, it didn't take the shine off of Buffalo. I still love the city and still like playing there. But it was different. I mean, I grew up most of my life in Canada. You play in a team that's got a lot of success, you don't go through as much. I think that was the biggest thing is I played with 5 of the best players in the world. So a little of the shine, I kind of hid under the radar. But when I got to Buffalo, it was a little bit different. But at the same time, it wasn't that bad. And there were a lot of people that were very supportive. And I really enjoyed my time there.
Where do you think we're at as far as the game, reaching into communities of color across the country, United States specifically, and do you believe that we are seeing or will see growth when it comes to reaching out to kids of color and ultimately more players of color in the league?
I think so. I mean, I think the game's growing. I mean, obviously there's still work to do, but at the same time, the NHL is doing a pretty good job of exposing it to kids that wouldn't get that opportunity to play. And I think the biggest piece still is the affordability of the game. I mean, once we're able to offset the cost to some of the kids, you're going to see more and more kids of different races play the game.
What about those that say that you were a pioneer and you helped bringing along some of the players of color now in the NHL? How do you feel about that?
It's a great honor, but I think I'm just a continuation of guys like Willie, Tony McKegney, Mike Marson, Bill Riley. I mean, I think I'm just a continuation of what they started. Val James, another one that played down in Rochester, but I'm just continuing what they started. And I think that was the big part of it is it's always a continuation. You're building off what somebody else started.
What about now for you? We were lucky enough to catch up with you at a road crew party the Sabres had in Vegas last season, but what's your connection to the game now and what are you doing in life?
Right now, I'm just a big fan. I mean, because I knew we were doing this interview, I sat and watched the Sabre Ranger game the other night just so I could catch up and see what's going on. But no, I sit and watch hockey 3 or 4 nights a week. And other than that, I'm living down in California. So playing lots of golf and eventually hoping to get back into the game again.
Well, Grant, we've been looking for good analysis from goaltenders. So give us your analysis of the Rangers-Sabres game the other night.
My personal take, they lost a lot of the little battles.
Yeah.
They lost the little battles going to the Rangers net. They lost some battles in their own end. And those are the little things that win you hockey games.
It wouldn't be a Grant Fuhr interview if I didn't ask what's your index now at golf. Like, where's your handicap at?
Well, I played with 0.3 index still.
Oh,
so
the 0.3. That's a big difference.
I'm getting old.
Hey, Grant, thank you for, again, we loved the feature that we ran on you last week and for the time tonight and everything you brought to the game.
It's my pleasure. Guys, have a good night, and hopefully the Sabres win tonight.
Yeah, well, we look forward to that too. Grant, thanks so much.